All right.
It's live.
We're live. Hey, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, everyone. It is the Flippin' Bunch again this evening, every Wednesday at 7. If you have been here before, thank you for coming back. And if you've not been here before, we're really glad to see you. So we'll do a quick introduction, and then we're going to get into a talk about stamps and molds. So whoever wants to go first.
Let's let our hostess go first.
All right. Hostess with the mostest. Hey, everybody. I'm Crystal with the Krafty Creech DIYs and Furniture Flips. Krafty is with a K because my name is spelled with a K. Creech is my last name. I dabble in a little bit of everything. I like all kinds of craft things, DIYs, furniture flipping is my favorite. I love trying new things and being artistic. And yeah, I like to have fun with it. All right.
All right. So I'm LaVon, and I have Statement Designs. And I, too, just love all things crafty. And tonight's subject is one of my very favorites, the molds and stamps. That's always been a fun part of what I like to do, but I like to do lots of little other crafty things besides furniture with them. So I, besides the YouTube channel, have retail. And I'll probably get a little bit more onto my website pretty soon and be doing more classes as things in my business change. And I'll keep everybody posted on that.
Awesome.
Kat?
Excuse me. My name is Kat. And I'm from Owling Dog. And I like all things art, and I do refinishing of furniture and restoration of furniture and sometimes other things and all kinds of things. And I always say I just like to make things pretty.
Yeah, perfect answer.
Okay, my name is Dar from DIYs by Dar. I also am a real maximalist artist. And I just do all kinds of things, and you'll find out what I'm going to talk about today is another one of what we're all going to talk about today is another one of my favorites, like LaVon, stamping and molds. Now, along this trip, if anybody has any questions, please let us know. We will try to answer them, whether you do it right now or whether you get a hold of one of us later. Just shoot us a question. Or if you'd maybe like to be a guest, let us know, and we'll try to get you on here with us. Happy for. The companies that we talk about, if we say IOD, that means Iron Orchid Designs. Probably one of my favorites. Another one is Redesigned by Prima. And you also can get some stamps and molds from some off-name brands, but not all stamps and molds are created equal. You have to kind of know what to look for with what kind of an end product that you want to get from it. So I'm first just going to talk about stamps. And when you are going to get a stamp, and I'm going to just show you. This one here, you can see how open and big it is. So that means that it's really good for stamping. And then if you want to paint on it, then you can stamp back over the top of it and you get a lot of the color in there. If you go with something like these, do you see how much darkness is in there? You're going to get more of the darkness in there, which gives you a little bit more 3D, but then you don't get quite as much like you do open area like you do on this one. Now, they always tell you don't double stamp. If you stamp once and it just doesn't come out quite right, you know, I do it. I'm sure everybody's done it. You go ahead and ink it again, and you try to really, really line it up and stamp it again. Sometimes you can get some ghosting, which is just like a double image or a double stamp. So that's always the risk when you try to do that. But a lot of times I just try to fix it with some paint if I can do that. And some I just happen to have all IOD stamps. They come with something called a mask. And this is a mask. And you think, well, what would I need a mask for? Well, especially like with these trees, if maybe you wanted to put a bunch of them and maybe somewhere behind another, you can take one of its masks that's pre-made specifically for that stamp, and then put that over your tree and then stamp your other one over the top of it. But it will make it look like it's actually behind that tree because you didn't stamp over the top of that tree. So if you see something in there and they say that they're masks, that's what they are for.
Interesting.
I'm starting to do it a little bit more now. If you get like a real thin stamp and they're kind of floppy, take when you get your stamps and cut out around so you can kind of keep it on this plastic, then that will be easier for you to maneuver that. But sometimes you want to maneuver it if you're going around a corner or something. So it just depends on what you might want to do with it.
Kind of like a built-in handle or holder when you do that.
I mean, you can get the blocks, a stamping block, and then put your stamp on there. Then that way they're really easy to stamp. It might be
I bought them and I don't use them.
Don't you? Well, that's what I was afraid of, that I thought maybe I would buy them and then I would never use them.
Because they're not very flexible, so they don't help you out like on a curved surface.
No, they're firm. They're solid plastic. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't think of her name. That she's a YouTuber and she does. Oh boy, wait, chick, help me out. Something chick.
Ginger.
Ginger. Yeah. It's like, sounds like a charades here. She'll do, like, she does a lot of curved pots and stuff. And she'll take, like if she's using, I have visual aids too, Dar. I'm trying to pull it up here. And this is a thing too. When you go to pull them when they're new and you think they're never going to come off and you're going to rip them, they won't rip. But anyway, this little label type of stamp, she'll take packing tape. And she'll put it on there and she'll fold the ends down. And then she can just take it and put it over that curved surface. And it does a great job.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
So it's like a kind of like a double stamp then, you mean?
And it just like makes a handle for it. Like, you can just.
Okay, gotcha.
On there, so you can just like, it takes the surface, like the curve of the thing. So it just kind of
gotcha. That would work. You wouldn't have to cut that out if you didn't want to. Then you'd have some handles.
And even more flexible than.
I like it even better actually, because I never thought about leaving them on the background. So I always just pull them off and like kind of struggle with them a little bit. But I have a little bit of fingernails, so I use my fingernails on the edge. But it would be so much easier with the tape. I love to see her do that.
Yeah, I saw her doing that. I thought that's a really good trick.
Yeah, we already talked about ink versus paint last time, so we won't hit that again.
I don't know whether anybody saw my video, my reel that I did this week, the fireplace that I did.
Yes.
Okay, so when I did the hearth, my plan was to use, because it was already white, so I was going to use ink and see what I got, and then if it was real light, I was just going to hand paint.
Yeah.
And then I was tired that night, and I went home. And of course, overnight, that's when my ideas pop. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go back and paint that whole thing white again and I'm going to use a brayer and use paint. So that's what I did. And it came out much better.
I'll have to
Nice.
watch it. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
It looks
That
IOD
looked
sells
gorgeous.
brayers. Do you have a
Yeah.
brayer handy there, Dar?
I do.
Okay, we can show them what a brayer is.
Mine's in
I
the
have
garage, so
Yeah. So they come in handy, like, so if you do use paint, because you don't want to use a brush if you're going to stamp. I think we talked about this before. Kat, you said you like to put the paint on kind of a porous surface and then lay the stamp down in. That's one way of doing it. This was that Cubano tile stamp, and it was 12 by 12. So it was the entire size of that. So that would have been kind of difficult, I think, to do that with, to find something big enough that my paint wouldn't have sucked into.
yeah.
So anyway, the brayer was a good solution.
Definitely a brayer. But
It looked
you know what I
gorgeous.
thought of?
Thank you.
Yeah. I thought of this after we had that live, but I also use a sponge sometimes. So same thing. I put my paint down and to get tacky, and then I use like a sponge and sponge up my paint, and then sponge onto the stamp sometimes.
Yeah, that works too.
I think I did that. You know what reminded me is when I was going through and doing like a home tour, I got to the Eastlake dresser, and it just dawned on me. I'm like, I did that with a sponge. Because the stencils were large, so I couldn't, like you're saying, Lavon. It was too cumbersome to lay them down like on a plate or something. So I just sponged on the paint.
Baby wipes too. Having baby wipes handy when you're stamping is really important. Because
I have them all over the place.
Yeah, if you get paint in where it doesn't belong, then it'll just ruin the
I make a mess.
It's a messy business.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, and one other tip that I might share is when you have a new stamp set, they recommend that you what's the word?
Scuff.
Yeah.
Scuff. Like take your sandpaper, go over it one way and then the other way, and it just gives it some tooth so that your ink or your paint will work better with it.
Yeah, I think that helps it from sliding around
a
lot too, because I know when I first used to stamp, I did not do that. I did not know about that. And I was like, what? I had to redo it like 6 times. I was so frustrated.
So what are you ladies, what are your favorite applications for stamps?
I like the glaze or paint with the brayer. That's usually.
I've never tried glaze on a stamp.
That would be a subtle, subtle look.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
I guess my question is like, I'm sorry.
I said stays on ink is mine. I love that.
Well, my question really was like, how do you use stamps mostly? Like, where are your favorite places to put stamps? I guess is my question.
Oh, okay.
All over.
Dar. Anywhere she can.
Well, yes, for us maximalist people, it's great filler.
Yeah, I like to use them on like the drawer fronts or on the sides. I think I've even used them on fabric to line drawers. Like I have some plain fabric and I just want to jazz it up a little bit and add some embellishment to the fabric drawer liner. And I've, stamped the fabric and it looks really nice. So.
Oh, that sounds nice, Crystal. I love that idea.
That reminds me to just say, like, if you do stamps on, say, dish towels or an apron or curtains or something like that, which you can do, then just make sure you heat set it so that it'll stay.
Yeah.
Clothing, you could do it on clothing.
Yep. Yep. I use stamps on smalls usually. And I used to use them on the insides of my furniture,
Yeah.
but I haven't done that in a long time. It's something I did all the time. And for some reason, I don't know why I stopped, and I just haven't done it in a long time. Yeah. And I've done them. I think the first time I ever did a stamp was,
Where did Dar go?
I don't know.
I think it
Might have
looked like
kicked
she
herself
froze up a little, and maybe she went out and was gonna
Oh,
come.
to come back in? Probably.
Yeah. So you
So-
were saying, Kat,
Um,
the
I
first time you did a stamp?
Yeah, I've used it around like almost like as a picture frame around decoupage to try to
Oh, that'd be
hide
pretty.
the edges. What happened, Dar?
I think it might be the weather here.
Oh,
It's pretty much storming out there.
It's being all wintry and stuff, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Not even winter yet, technically.
winter crap.
that's right.
My internet has been so wonky today. I've been having problems with Facebook. I don't know if you guys have.
Boy.
Hmm.
No.
No, I haven't. But then again, we're not
Yeah. I had
where you are.
tons of problems 2 weeks ago.
So you guys want to talk about molds?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, may I, before we move to molds? And,
Sure.
I just was going to say, I like to use my stamps for not only furniture and smalls, but also jewelry. I do a lot of jewelry. And I also wanted to say, I got these bags on Amazon. And I know it's hard to see with my background whenever I do something, but these bags are just like 12 by 12, or they might even be 13 by 13 baggies. They were super cheap, but they are great for organizing and not as expensive as the envelopes that are, even IOD sells them. I am an IOD stockist and I don't carry them because I just feel like they're kind of expensive. But
Yeah.
but anyway, little ones like this. This is a knob topper stamp.
Ooh.
But they're fun to those. I don't know if you can see it. There we go.
Okay.
Sort of, kind of.
Oh
But
my gosh, I love those.
yeah, I mean they're meant to do plain wooden knobs, but boy, this is tough. But I do like. So my friend and I were doing earrings. She has a glow forge, so it's like the wooden cutouts,
Oh, yeah.
So I'd just tell her make teardrops, just make teardrops, and I would stamp them and treat them pretty much like furniture.
Wow.
So
Cool.
just a fun application for
I
that.
love
too.
that. One thing, do you guys follow Julie's Designs and Signs?
I do.
She stamps. I've seen her stamp air dry clay.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
That's a
Mhm.
good.
And then she will go
Thank
back
you.
over it with like a brown antiquing wax or something like that, and it'll pick
For
up.
glaze.
Yep, and it'll pick up all of the stamped areas, and it looks amazing.
I've seen
is a good
Lisa
idea.
do that at My Shabby Cottage, I think is the name of her channel. But she'll do, she does the air dry clay and she'll make like a plain shape with her hands. And then she wraps it around the bottle with the glue and then she'll stamp over that. And she does all kinds of decorating over that. And she does beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
And
That's
also food, like if you're going to use stamps or molds like for cookies or anything like that, just make sure you keep the set obviously just for that purpose, because
So it stays food
Oh,
safe.
yeah,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
if you use like epoxy in your molds or something,
Right. Yeah.
not
Definitely.
fun to eat.
No,
Right.
it's not. Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions that is watching? Any comments or anything? Let us know. We're here to answer anything as best as we can.
It looks like there are 5 people watching,
Yeah.
I think. Is that what you see?
Yeah.
I
that's
have,
what
I
I
have
think.
it opened on another page.
Okay.
Cheating a little bit.
Yeah, normally, like I said, I have my phone, but little man has it right now. So,
But you're able to see chat. Crystal, you should be able to see any chat that comes through on StreamYard.
yes, like
Yeah.
right now.
Like right
There
now.
you go.
That's that lady from Owling Dog.
Tricky.
I don't
I
get
think
it. Her
you
name's
should play
Cat,
it.
but she's Owling Dog. What is the story behind that cat?
No,
And her last name's Savage, so wow.
I know. I should have used. Well, the reason I didn't use it is because I don't know. It was kind of crazy. Like we had a dog, a golden retriever, and he was just such a big love. We loved him so much, and he loved the boys, And he got old, and Colin really loved that dog, and there was a time when I lived in Massachusetts, it was very rural, believe it or not. You think of Massachusetts as being like all cities, and it's not. I lived in a very rural area, and there was an owl outside, and that dog, like, he had to go out. I think it was like 2:00 in the morning. It's like, oh, the owl, right? He has to go out and see the owl.
Okay.
I go out with a dog, and there's the owls in the tree. And it was just the cutest thing. And the owl is, I think it's called a barred owl.
Okay.
And if you put it on Google, it will show you like the kind of noise that it makes. But it was making its own noise, and the dog is sitting there. And it was just the cutest picture. And I thought that would be a great name for my business, because I was actually working on opening up my first gallery, like, brick and mortar, in other words. And I went online to research it, and there was already someone who had the owl and dog, and she really had a lot on her website and page and all that. And I said, oh, damn, I can't use that. And Colin had a business, and it wasn't Savage Restoration. It was actually Savage Solutions. And so I'm like, well, I don't want to like be confusing, with too many savages. We all kind of did things together, you know what I mean? Like they did photography and I did photography, and I tried to do a little bit of restoration back then, and Colin did more restoration. He was like the first one that really did restoration. And anyway, so it became the owling dog. And that's how.
Well, that's good. I've always wondered.
Yeah. Well, I like that little story behind the name.
Yeah.
Very cute.
Yeah.
I can tell you another thing too. I always wanted to tell you guys this, and I always say, I wish you all good and beautiful things. And it's mainly because this is like not an awful story, but I used to work in psych. I didn't start in psych, but I ended up, like later on, after doing critical care, I ended up in psych because it was close to my house, and but I liked it though. I actually liked it. We did a lot of dual diagnosis, substance abuse / psych. And some of these, it was all men. A lot of these guys, like I knew once they sobered up, they were just going to go back up and start drinking, right? But they would come in all disheveled and angry and everything, and then they'd leave. They were like these little, gnomes, and, you're just letting them go back out onto the street. And it's like, I don't know what to say to them. Like, it's like, do well, try to stay sober. You can't really tell somebody that, And I'm like, geez, I wish all good things for you. Anything that's good is what I wish for you. and send them on their way until they came back in another month or so. But
Well, hopefully it was a good month.
it became that. It's like, well, it's always good to hope for the best.
Yeah, I love that.
And it could be different for you than it is for me. And, his good things might be a bottle of Jack Daniels. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or a warm bed somewhere. That's how that came to be.
Well, I like that. That is it's a nice saying. I always, it's good to know that story too.
And it's biblical. It's like Philippians 4:8.
Okay.
And it's kind of a little bit of a paragraph, but and sometimes I post it at the end of my video, but it's just more or less saying the same thing. Concentrate on the good things. Don't think of these bad things. And I have to tell myself that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure we all do at times.
Yeah, that's good things.
Down the rabbit hole. Oh,
What's that?
are those Christmas
I said
decorations?
molds are good things.
Yeah.
It's a snowflake. Oh, look what you got there. Snowflake
Wow.
mold. You can't see the detail. And this is a cloche mold that I really messed up. So I
That's so
used
pretty.
clear resin
Yeah.
and I stirred it too much and I got all kinds of bubbles and it was too late. I tried the lighter trick and
Yeah.
it was just too late. So I'm not going to let it bother me. I'm going to paint it. I'm just going to paint the whole thing and then use a transfer and use some gilding wax. This is the cloche.
Yeah, it's like a globe or something, like one of those.
Kind of like one of those glass things you put
Yeah.
over. So
For sure, I could
that's a
see you
fun
putting
one.
a transfer on that and making it look like it's encapsulated in glass or something.
Yeah, and so here's a ring. Like I get these little ring blanks. Maybe you can see. Oh boy, it's hard. And this was a mold with a stamp on it. So
Oh,
just I love to use them for small. I have a whole bunch. There's a cameo mold. They're all pinned in here. So I'm going to pick this whole thing up because they're here for sale.
oh
But
my
there's
God.
all kinds of molds and butterflies and
neat.
cameos. There we go.
Oh my
So-
gosh, how cute.
Yeah, so you don't have to just put them on furniture. There's a
Okay.
necklace.
Yeah. Molds are not all treated the same either. Like this first one I showed you, this pink one, this is like a kind of off name brand. And usually when they're pink, they're usually a hooks like for making frostings or fondues or a cook's type of mold.
Bakery.
Now I've got a redesigned by Prima mold right here. And this one I just recently used. I like redesigned by Prima. They're nice, but when you get to the IOD type molds, this one, you can see that there's a raised edge on it. And that is nice because after you put the clay in there, it helps you when you take a knife just to get that excess clay off the top of it and you get a really nice edge, as well as it tells you how many mils it takes to fill one. So if you're mixing up some resin, you know approximately about how much that you need to mix up to put in there. But
Wow. That's very helpful.
if you are going to use just DOS clay, which DOS clay, I found out that is the best with less shrinkage than any of the others. They had it compared to another brand, and that other brand shrank 12%. It looked like, really small compared to the DOS, but you use what you want to use. I like the DOS clay. Now, when you go to the polyurethane, that can be confusing because you can see clear epoxy, usually a 2-part, and if it says deep pour or it takes 12 to 24 hours to cure, then you know that is for a deep pour, like something you're going to pour over the top of a table that's going to take a while to cure. But if you want to go quicker and you are putting it in a mold, what you want is the polyurethane resin quick cure. You've got about 2 minutes to use it, and it'll take 10 minutes to set up. And again, it's a 2-part mixture. I've tried different brands, and this one, it's Let's Resin brand, and it works pretty good. I think maybe it's just slightly a little more brittle than the last one I was using, but for cost, it's a whole lot better. When you are, it depends on what you're doing. If you want to get your molds on something fast, then you're probably going to do a quick pour because you want to get going and you want to do it. But if you want to bend your molds, really bend them around something, then you may opt for that DOS clay. But you still can press the polyurethane ones. You just have to take them out of the mold a little bit quicker and start bending and working them around. And you still can get them to take a curve on, but not quite as much as a curve as your DOS clay will. The best trick was what Margie taught me from the asking spot. Put your DOS clay in the freezer. And this is why. If you have something that has like small articulations, like let's say a bug and it's got like articulations coming out. When you try to take that out of the mold fresh, it's kind of hard and you're probably going to mess those articulations up or break them off. You put your mold in the freezer, just 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Don't leave it overnight because you'll ruin your clay. They'll just fall out. They'll fall right out of the frame. And after a while, you'll learn how much timing you have before they really soften up. I like to do it that way because then when you take them out, they're pretty hard. All your articulations are still there, and they're easier to put the glue all over the back of them and then set them where you want them. And if you need to bend them, you just kind of wait until it thaws out, and then you can start to bend it around.
Yeah, and then when you're not handling it when it's soft and wet and destroying all of the little details and intricacies all over the mold.
Right. So that's my trick.
To clarify, you're putting the clay in the mold and then putting it in the freezer. You're not putting your clay in the freezer.
No.
Okay.
No.
That's kind of what it sounded like. I just wanted to clarify.
That's me with my ADHD. I always get a little bit ahead of myself.
Well, no, and I also
the brain's already 10 feet ahead.
I also wanted to say too, of course, I sell IOD, so I use IOD air dry clay. And I have used DOS and I think it's good. But I just, I really like the Iron Orchid Designs clay. And one of the tricks that I've learned with it is so you mold it, you take it out of your mold, and then you put it on your piece while it's still wet. You glue it and put it on while it's still wet. Like you said, if you want to form it around something, but then paint it right away. That reduces the cracking if you paint it while it's still wet. You just have to be careful. You want to get a little crust on it so that you still can keep all of your detail in the mold, but just, don't pounce it with a paintbrush because obviously it's going to lose some of that detail. But I do really like Iron Orchid Designs. One brand
I have not tried that. Does it, how much does it shrink? Does it?
It'll shrink a little bit. And one of the things that I always like to tell people is paint a coat, like say you're putting on a jar. This is my jar. So paint it, then put your molds on it, then paint it again. Because that way when it shrinks, you don't have a halo around your mold,
Mm-hmm.
So that's my answer to that.
I have another trick, and it's a little different, but if you have your A and B for the resin, and I don't remember, and you have to look at you have to look at the actual material when you've got your A and your B. But one is like a substrate and the other makes the reaction happen. If you put it's, you're supposed to have 1-to-1. If you use a little bit more substrate and a little less
Hardener.
You'll be able to mold that resin for in a decent kind of a way, while it's hard, but it's not totally hard.
Yeah.
I don't know if that it makes it rubbery for a while, and it does set up just like it usually does, but you have to play with it.
I have found too, like if you pop it out of the mold, like before it's completely finished, while it's still kind of warm, you can bend it pretty easily too.
Yeah.
And a note on that, if I may too, Dara, I tried the Let's resin, and like you said, it's less expensive for sure, and it's adequate. But if you're going to be really like when I'm doing jewelry, amazing casting resin to me is the only thing, because I am afraid of breaking the Let's resin.
I agree. I agree. I think amazing cast resin gives you a smoother product with less bubbles.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem quite as brittle as the Let's resin brand's a little more brittle.
Yeah.
I have a question. What type of glue do you guys use for your clay when you're applying it to your furniture?
Type on, quick and thick. Where is it? There we are.
Okay. Kat, what do you use?
I use that too.
You use that too. Okay.
I tried on that kitty cat thing that I did a couple weeks ago. I tried using Bondo.
Oh.
And it does work, but it makes a wicked mess. I am not neat enough to do it. You might be. You know.
There's a Massachusetts term.
Yeah.
It's a wicked mess.
In the worst way. And I saw that through Ginger Chick Rehab.
Okay. I usually use the E6000.
Okay. I hate that stuff.
It's very stinky. It's very, I think it does a really good job.
Okay.
You know, with metals, gluing metals together, gluing ceramic and stuff together. And so in my mind, I think this is a permanent solution. You know, it's not going anywhere. So, but you guys have good success with the tight bond, quick and thick.
Yeah. Any wood glue, really, too. Gorilla Glue's good, too. And also Aileen's tacky glue, I like.
Yeah. Whatever PVA glue is, I hear it's compared to like a kid's like Elmer's glue.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never done that. I've always been a little bit afraid to do that and went with the quick and thick.
Yeah.
So I've had the best luck with it.
Yeah.
Speaking of glue and molds, hot glue. Have you guys ever used hot glue in your molds?
I've used it to make a mold. I've used it to make a mold, to make a repair on.
I saw you do that.
Yeah.
I've done that too.
Yeah.
That's a good trick.
Yeah. So, I mean, it works, especially if you're in a pinch. I mean, and, you know, in a budget, need a budget friendly,
right.
You know, because the kits to make the mold, and it's usually you're only making it for one project. Like, you don't need it another time. I feel like they're kind of expensive. So,
yeah,
you know,
sometimes I've used it so in jewelry making, you know, you can buy those. I'm holding my hand like I can show you, but like those blank cuffs, so they're metal cuffs.
Yes.
So I like to make a mold, and this is the only time when I can say that hot glue is my favorite thing to use for this application, but it is. And then I'll make a little mold out of that and glue it on, not with hot glue, but I wait till it dries and then I use something else probably E6000 in that case, and I use little clamps to hold it till it dries, and then I'll put like a little gem or something in it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
That's the only time I really like hot glue, but I've used it in a pinch in molds when I was out of anything else to use.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would definitely work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a lot of cracking can appear in your paper clay or air dry clay if you don't store it correctly. When you open it up out of a package, which a package of DOS is a 2.2 pound package, can cost anywhere from $10 to $12 from wherever you get it. So you want to be, cost effective with what you're using. So take care of your clay. When you open it, take out what you want, knead it really good, just like you do regular clay. If it's cracking and drying in your hands, just take your mister bottle and just spray a little mist over it, so then you can soften it up a little bit and work it. If it's cracking and crumbling when you're trying to condition it, then you know it's too dry. And when you're all done with your clay and you go to put it away, just take your mister bottle and just do a little squish in there and then fold it all up, tape it closed, and then put it in another airtight bag, and it should be just as good as when you opened the package up the first time around.
Yeah, cool.
Good tips.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah.
I was thinking of something, and I know. I saw. Do you guys watch Ellen J. Goods? Her name is Lynn, but she has a store in Medina, New York called Ellen J. Goods.
I feel like I have, but
she's really good too.
yeah, I can't.
She does
remember.
lives.
Okay, I can't remember what I've seen. If I have, I feel like I recognize that name, but
Yeah, she has a really cool style.
I just watch you guys. I don't watch anybody else.
I try to watch as many different people. I guess because I belong to a lot of groups on Facebook, I get introduced to these people, and then I'm always trying to support other YouTubers. So, I'll subscribe, and then all this stuff pops up in my feed.
yeah.
But anyway, she did a video just the other day that I saw it, and I'm like, oh, I have to do this. But she took the new, the little presents mold with the sleigh this year from IOD, and she's doing holiday jewelry.
Oh, cool.
And she was using, what's the clay that you bake? I even Googled it and I forget.
Is it the epoxy clay?
No, it's like
because I've used that epoxy clay, and I'm pretty sure I had to bake that stuff. It's not Sculpey, is it?
Sculpey, that's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She used Sculpey, and she made little presents, and she had like all of them on a chain. It was so cute. And then she had, I think, the little reindeer head from a couple years ago or a year ago. Just so cute. They were adorable little presents. And I was doing snowflake rings from the snowflake mold. And earrings, snowflakes. But yeah,
those are good things. Quick things and quick sales around the holidays.
They are quick sellers, especially when you put them on a cute little card or something. That really elevates it.
And then you can use your stamps and stamp the card.
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really cute. I've also used, let me see if I can grab one here. I use playing cards to put some of my jewelry on.
That's so
Wow.
And then I have a statement design stamp, and I can stamp that on there too. So
I
the
love
ink that they put on those self-inking stamps does run. So then when I do that, I always have to spray it with a clear sealer because it'll run all over the place.
Yeah. Cute idea, though. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I found a product for you, Kat.
Oh, really?
For your one project you want to do. I don't know if it's that East Lake dresser, how you were talking about doing like that wooden like it looks like it's burnt on the side, or just leaving the wood, but then just putting a stencil over the top of that's a little bit darker.
Yeah. I love that.
Do you know really or no? Anyway, there's a product out there. It's called wood burning gel. Have you guys ever seen that?
Wow.
I've seen the pens.
Yeah, I've seen the pens. I had one when I was like 12.
So it must be something that just is flammable a lot quicker right in that area.
Light it on fire.
Oh, so you use that and then you light it on
I
fire
think maybe they used a light to do it, but anyway, look it up on Amazon. It's called wood burning gel.
Okay.
And you take a stencil and you just put it through the stencil, and then you take the light source and hold it on there, and it turns all brown and looks just like it was burnt.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So you know how you can kind of get that wood effect that looks like it has a burnt impression on it.
Wow.
That would be cool in the background, like of something like, but of furniture, and then you could embellish on top of it.
Yes.
I did wooden spoons one year, and used that. I forget exactly what they called that marker, a scorch marker.
Oh,
okay, never heard of it.
Okay.
Yeah, a scorch marker, and I used like little stencils through it. That would be cute, boy, to use that Stay Cozy stamp, if you could color on the stamp and use that. But anyway, I did use a stencil and a heat gun, and it just looks like you burn it on there.
Wow, that's really cool.
I have one of those tools, but it's brand new, and I haven't used it because I used to do that 100 years ago. And I thought that I was pretty good at it, but it's just been so long. I mean, I really need to practice with something like that. You know who does that is Taryn from Elegant.
Oh, Taryn.
Taryn, yeah.
Yeah.
She does the painting, like the Bob Ross painting.
Yes. She just had a baby. Yeah.
She burns the artwork into the furniture, and it's amazing. It's
Wow.
She is really talented. I can't think of the name of her channel.
Elegant something, right? Elegant.
Yes, I think.
Elegant Designs, maybe? I'm not sure.
You can always. She definitely has like a brand recognition. You can always tell one of her thumbnails, or it's always like recognizable.
Yeah. That's my goal.
And I don't know if you guys, any of you have ever used the epoxy sculpt before. Is that something any of you have ever tried?
That's the clay, right?
Yeah, it's still a two-part mix, but it's like saying that they make it sound like the stuff is practically indestructible. You can even fix your plumbing with it.
You mean, yeah. So are you talking about the,
you can throw it at somebody and hurt them.
It gets rock hard.
Good to know.
You can use it on everything. You can use it on metal. You can use it on wood.
Writing that down. Epoxy sculpt.
Epoxy sculpt. You can sculpture.
I am not going to be an accessory to your crime, Levon.
Well, I wasn't writing it down so I could throw it at somebody. However, in Altoona, Pennsylvania, if you were at McDonald's, it might have been handy, right?
You never know. You might need to hurry up and make some, and you got a slingshot.
Right. Just don't go to McDonald's in Altoona.
You could probably put it in a gun and shoot it like a
probably muzzle loader. Well, I'm thinking about getting some because it looks like, you'd be able to repair some furniture with it real easy.
Probably.
I repaired it.
It's sandable, paintable.
It's really cool. I used it to make keychains. It was really cool. So
to make
repairs, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. How'd you make the keychain?
I used a cookie cutter.
Wow.
So I just used the cookie cutter and I made the little hole for the, with I think I used like a pencil or something like that to make the little hole to put the keychain
Aw.
through and painted it
Yeah.
and everything. But I liked using it. It was, I should get some more.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get some.
Yeah, you should.
I mean, like, even if you have, you went thrifting and you bought something thrifting, and let's say it has some kind of dink or kink in it, and you want to like repair it,
Mm-hmm.
that stuff would work, and you can sand it off.
Yeah.
I repaired the bottom of a piece of furniture, a furniture leg with that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, quick. I used I think it's made by J.D. Weld and it's called Quick Wood.
Yes.
Yeah.
I used that.
It's a two-part epoxy and I even like the way it smells, but I don't know, some people would probably hate it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Did you say you used the Quick Weld or the Quick Wood?
Quick Wood, and it's made by I think
J.B. Weld.
I think, yeah.
Yeah. They also make
I
a
have
Quick
both of
Weld.
those. Yeah.
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 They make one from metal.
Yeah.
Yep, I have it.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think they make one for leather too.
Oh,
Haven't
Really?
seen that one.
oh,
I think so.
Huh.
I think I bought some because my husband put a hole in the leather seat in the
oh,
car.
we won't really ask you what leather.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
Now, do you have to put the little like grain over the top of? They have a little thing to put grain.
I haven't even tried it. It's still sitting in the drawer.
That's interesting.
So I'm hoping he's gonna do it. He put a hole there.
You wait long enough, then.
It'll never get done.
Oh,
Yeah.
Not gonna
It's
happen,
okay.
huh?
It's okay. Yeah. It is what it is, right? It's not bothering me too bad. So
oh,
if
another
it
trick.
would get done.
A trick I forgot to tell you. If you are going to use a paper clay and you're going to use a cookie cutter, put a piece of saran wrap over the top before you put your cutter down, and then you won't get really jagged, rough edges. They'll be a lot more smooth for you.
Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, we also forgot to mention the cornstarch too. Dust your molds with cornstarch if you're going to use clay.
Yeah, here's my brain 10 feet ahead.
Yeah.
And for the cornstarch, I use so I always wash these things out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they have little
Ice
tops,
containers.
and you can sprinkle it in, and your molds will smell like onions. Or garlic.
Okay. I have a little tip to share, and you probably already know it, so I'm probably going to be late to the party. But when you buy Parmesan cheese,
Yeah.
so the cap on the top that you can either lift a spoon or lift a shake.
Yeah.
Do you know that fits on a mason jar?
No.
It does.
Oh.
It does.
How cool.
So I have a million mason jars and a million caps. I've even put like cord in it and pulled it out. Like sometimes I use silk cord for jewelry, and it'll just
That's
kind of
such
be
a good idea.
dispenser.
Like yarn or string or
Yeah.
Ribbon, whatever, lace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like
yeah.
that idea.
I love that.
Oh,
That's a
that would
great
just be like
idea.
great for like storing, and I like that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad I shared that tip then. I thought you were all going to say, yeah, I know that. I know.
No,
No, it's
if you do make like ornaments from the paper clay, and what you can do is actually just put either polyacrylic spray over the top. Then you can actually put transfers on them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And just make
That's
sure
what
you
I'm
poke a
planning on
hole in it,
doing.
because it's kind of hard after they're
Dry.
dry to do that.
I drill them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
I've
use a
had
drill.
to on occasion.
And
'Cause I forgot.
I'm going to be honest. They say when you use amazing casting resin, to use your PPE, that it's highly toxic. And honestly, it doesn't have any odor, and I've had it on my hands a million times. I'm not lying. I'm just telling you. But I will say this, when it's dry and you're drilling through it, that's, to me, when you definitely want it, because it'll
putting it into the air. Yeah.
exactly.
No way. Or sanding it.
Yeah.
What a mess it is.
Yeah. So that's when I think
Yeah.
you need the protection. But
Right. Yeah, I try and wear my PPE as anytime I'm sanding, anytime I'm using chemicals. Like I try and stay away from stripper if it's, like a chemical type stripper or, stuff like that. Anything like that, I try and wear my respirator, because I did not wear one for so long. And I tell you what, I could just kick myself. I wish I could go back, because even like the littlest bit of dust bothers me now. So
yeah, I mean, I've gotten sick before, like a cold, immediately after sanding stuff, when I should have been wearing a mask.
Right.
It's like, God,
It just gets in your lungs.
I could have put it on for like 5 minutes. Why didn't you just put it on?
Mm-hmm.
You got to comment here.
Gretchen has a couple comments.
All right. She said, I've heard the palm lids fit on mason jars, but I never thought to use it for string or thread.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes.
Yes, you do need to
she's
go
gonna
buy some
be-
Parmesan cheese, Gretchen.
She's going to be eating a lot of Italian at her house.
And then,
yeah, I loved stamping the wallpaper. Was so much fun. I mean, I had to stop myself. One more. Oh, there's a space there.
Yeah. Oh, I missed a spot. Yeah. I wished I would have
empty.
Yeah.
I wished I would have seen that. I showed you guys that wallpaper I did in my dining room, but I saw that. I'm like, oh, that would have looked really pretty in there too. I just wanted something colorful and bold for a little while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love wallpaper anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I could have new wallpaper probably every year.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't. But I love it. I do. I love my kitchen is wallpapered, but it's hard to tell because it's so subtle.
Yeah. Yeah, but it just gives it a nice little something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fun, and it's fun to do.
Yeah.
I've stamped walls and transfers on them too.
Yeah.
I did one in a beauty salon where I did a lot of stamping, and then lots of floral transfers, and did them at the wellness clinic too. So
fun.
Yeah.
I put transfers on just a transfer. You can't see it.
On your mixer?
On my mixer. This transfers on my car. Yeah, it has butterflies in that. I have them like coming up over the side onto the hood.
Oh my
outside goodness. Did they fade at all in the sun?
The way I do it is I wash the car with soap and water and then clear rinse. And then I use alcohol immediately before I put the transfer down. And you have to do it when the weather is just right. It can't be too hot or too cold. And
I just thought the sun would fade it though.
Was it a transfer like 4 outside on a vehicle, or just like a regular transfer?
And it stayed on? It stayed on?
It's still on.
Oh
I go to the car wash.
Oh my gosh.
That says a lot for their transfers then, because I would think that the weather and the sun would take that finish off the top of it.
Yeah.
Well, you're lucky that it didn't, because I have a friend that did her Beetle, her VW Beetle, and she used that one. It was a redesign with Prima, big flowers, and she did that, and it looked so cute, and it just faded though.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if she lives down south or something, maybe.
No, she was here in Altoona, but She made a post on
in
Facebook.
your garage. Maybe because do you keep your garage?
Yeah, she didn't have a
No,
garage.
I don't. No, it's outside all the time.
Okay,
Yeah.
wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny though, because you know how everybody's so vocal on social media. She posted it, and some people were like, "Wow, that's gorgeous," and other people were like, "Way to go! You just ruined your car."
No.
Yeah, it's my car.
My car. My car.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Ugh.
my car, and I'll ruin it if I want to.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
My furniture, and I'll ruin it if I
Yeah.
want.
Right.
Ugh,
I'll criminally paint that furniture if I want to.
exactly. Oh gosh. Well, it looks like we made it to 8 o'clock, you guys.
We did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Didn't feel like it, did it?
So
Goes by
Another
fast.
hour.
who's
Yeah.
going to be here next week?
Me.
Oh, I'll be here.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be here.
So all four of us will all be here next week on Wednesday. Hopefully.
I know, I told this to, I can't remember who I told it to, actually.
Ooh, look what Gretchen put transfers on her 2004 minivan with 345,000 miles.
Wow.
345,000.
Wow,
Wow.
Gretchen, what kind of minivan is it?
Oh my gosh. What's that?
Yeah, Gretchen, what kind of minivan? I'm curious.
It's not in my house.
Not here.
I just bought a used Chrysler Town and Country with 174,000 miles on it. So if it makes it that long, it's a Toyota. Okay.
Wow.
That's kind of scaring me.
That's
Are you hearing it at your house?
I
I
think
can hear that.
I wonder if we're picking up some type of interference. or
It's that darn owl cat.
something.
I'm here alone. I don't like that.
I know.
Gretchen has a Toyota Sienna. Oh, wow.
My husband watches that car guy, and he's always talking about how Toyota is like the best car to buy.
Right.
Yeah.
I love my Jeep, though.
Yeah. Well, I have a Chrysler Pacifica, so we'll see how that one goes.
I had one of them. Them are nice cars.
Yeah. I always said I'm never going to buy a van ever. I never will. And then I end up with a van. And I'm telling you, that thing is the best.
I love my van.
Yeah. We take the seats out. I can put so much stuff in there. It ain't even funny. Like,
Yeah.
You can put all the seats down and fill it right back up to the driver's seat.
I can get more stuff in there than my husband gets in the back of his truck. And then I can
I'm
leave
going to use mine to deliver a piece of furniture tomorrow. So
Yeah, that's so great. Now, do you have like things that you can push furniture up, like a ramp or something, Lavon?
no.
No.
No, I just use my wheels all the time, but my son's going to help me tomorrow.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. You have like a furniture dolly or something.
I get those wheels from Harbor Freight, like the kind, they're a frame and then they have the wheels on them. And then I also have some that are just like, it looks like a metal tripod thing.
Yeah.
That has individual.
Dollies, yeah.
Yeah, I
I
have
think I need some of them on me.
Wheelie around. Yeah.
That might be dangerous.
Gretchen said the
This
Toyota
weather.
Sienna is huge.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're called roller skate star.
Well, you might need.
That's coming back in. Now they have all them roller skating shows on TV.
Well, you might need ice skates today because of the weather.
Yeah. Really.
She needs a
We
toboggan.
better wrap it up, ladies, so
Yes.
we can.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Gretchen. Thanks, everybody, for stopping
Thank you,
in.
Crystal.
Yep. Thanks for chatting with us and anybody else that joined us.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Love you guys. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.